Hello guys, this is Andrew from Boxing Bros UK. Here we are again, massive event. Finally get to speak to Michael Hunter. Michael, good to see you. First of all, let's get your what's going on with your situation, because we'd love to see you out fighting again. Just give us. I know you've probably been asked this a lot. What's going on? When you're next out? What's been the hold up?
Well, I've been moving. I'm in the WBA. I'm number one in the WBA rankings. I just haven't been on the spotlight. I need a showcase fight. I need a big fight. I haven't been challenged in a long time. I need a real challenge, and I need so once somebody steps up and challenges me, then I'll be back on the scene.
Yeah. Do you think you're a little bit avoided? Obviously, you're a tricky fighter. You're a skillful fighter. Do you think it's a little bit kind of like high risk? Do you think that's why somebody avoiding you, or what's your take?
A little bit is an understatement. And absolutely, anytime, I had a lot of accolades coming in as a pro. I was two-time Olympian or whatever. So anytime that you don't get the big break, like Floyd Mayweather, right off the rip, and somebody doesn't invest in you, you tend to become a high risk. And no matter what the reward is, you're high risk, low reward. So even if you're high risk, high reward, it's not the same. So
yeah.
So that's the position I've been in, and we've been trying to work it out. I've shied away from interviews and haven't been on the on the mainstream. But I got to do these things more often. I'm here. I am number one. I am working. I fight Kabrat Pulev. It was set for August 23rd.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's been set back a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a good time to fight him as well. I mean, obviously he's a wrong side of 40 now as well, isn't it? That's probably one that you can and that'll get your profile back up there as well, won't it?
Yes, and then the next one hopefully I'll come to Ipswich and I'll be against Fabio Worley. We're doing a 4-man tournament, so
let's chat a little bit about that. Obviously, we saw Fabio. Obviously, as a British guy, we're obviously big fans of his white collar background. Definitely got some limitations. I think it's fair to say that. He's got that equaliser. What did you make of that against Hooney? Who's a tricky fighter, but he got the job done in the end. But
yeah, well, I think that he's still learning, just like we all are. And that was just one of his learning processes. He got through it. He worked it out and got through it. And I'm pretty sure that he's not going to have something similar happen to them. I mean, he may, but not in that way again, because he's experienced it. And once you experience it, he'll know and be familiar. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to fix those situations. And you never know what happened. He could have had a wet dream the day before. We don't know.
That is true. It's a fair comment. You don't know. Yeah. It seemed to be an off night, but he found that right hand.
I mean, sometimes you can't sleep the day before, a couple of days before, just because of the nerves and
diet. Sometimes what you've eaten,
and sometimes it's not. It doesn't even matter. It's not about like you're scared or maybe this is a big fight. It's just sometimes it's just because it's a fight. It doesn't matter. I knew I was going to knock a guy out, and for some reason I have nerves, So that's the experience. So I think that that will be one of my big challenges, and I have obviously I haven't been challenged in a while. I think Pulev will be a challenge, but I think Fabio Worley will be.
He's got all the experience in the world, Pulev, isn't he? So he's still going to be a challenge, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes. He knows how to fight. You know what I'm saying?
He's been in there with top guys, hasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. So. And he knows what I'm capable of, so he's not going to just go in there blindsided.
So break it down just before we get on to some other topics as well, other couple of topics. If you were to fight Fabio, what could you kind of share a potential game plan with that? Obviously, it's probably obvious to say, trying to avoid that right hand over the top that he likes to land.
Yeah.
Would you be able to disclose how you would combat his style?
Well, one, I obviously would have to stay defensive minded because he's a big explosive puncher, and he takes that all throughout the rounds, obviously. So I would have to stay alert and be defensive minded all the way through. Tactically, I haven't really, I've been focused on Pulev and studying him a lot more. And
but that's upcoming.
Yeah. But once the fight is signed, then I could go, and go to the lab and make it work.
That's a fascinating fight if that gets made. So another thing I know my esteemed colleague wanted to ask about Hasim Rahman. So you wanted to know the situation around that, Chris, didn't you?
Yeah.
What's the?
It's funny because a lot of people think that he was my trainer. He never was really my trainer.
Right.
I just, he never really trained me. Me and him, that's like really like my uncle. I've been knowing him since I was a kid. I'm friends with his son. You know what I'm saying? We all been friends. My brother's friends with their little brothers and stuff like that. We've been friends. Shout out to Sharif and Lil Rock. We've been friends for a long time, and I just thought it was a great opportunity because he had the storyline with Lennox Lewis, and I knew that the Brits would take heed to it, and it went well, but he never necessarily trained me. He did, he worked with me and stuff like that, but he's not necessarily a trainer, but he was good. He's better in the corner than training, you know what I'm saying? Just his presence and being in the atmosphere, I think he was able to put a little fear in Billy Nelson when we started. Got a little respect early on in the beginning.
Getting his head.
Yeah. So I thought it played well for him.
But also, it's finding the right fit. It's chemistry, isn't it? I always look at the psychology of fights and sports in general, which I find fascinating. But it's finding the right fit. Look at AJ's gone through. Seems to be hundreds of trainers. I'm exaggerating, Michael.
Yes,
but it's fine. Look at Daniel Dubois now, and we'll get onto that in a minute. He seems to have found that right fit with Don Charles. Seems to be the perfect trainer for him. So it's all about trying to find the right guy for you as well, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm somebody that's like, since I was young, I'm like a wild horse. Like, I have to be tamed. A certain trainer,
Stallion.
A certain trainer has to come in. I have to get the respect. So I've always been like that. I've only really had one trainer. His name was Kenny Crooms. Now I have another one. Just recently, I've started working with another one named Donnie Townsman.
Nice.
Yeah, they both were old school fighters. My dad was a fighter. My grandpa on my mom's side was a matchmaker and advisor. And, so I come from that old school type of boxing, and I respect those fighters. Also, I was working with Mike McCullum on this camp for Pulev, and he ended up passing away and stuff like that, unfortunate. But, yeah, those are the guys that I end up following. That's why Big Rock was in there with me. Sometimes I tend to like Shannon Briggs as well. So
Shannon the Cannon, we met him actually. We met Shannon, top guy, big personality. And just the last one on the tripod, because I want to get a couple of predictions from you from the card. Two big heavyweight fights. What gets you, what motivates you in terms of having the team around you? You're obviously putting yourself back out there promotionally, but getting into some potential big fights at the end of this year, next year. What motivates you? What team do you? What does it for you?
Well, a lot of things that it motivates me is to see. That gets in my head is to see that the fighters that are in the top 10 are not on my level, and then I can compete with them. So, and I have a lot to show, you know what I'm saying? So, for me to not be out there and on the big screen, that's what kind of it motivates me. At the same time, you kind of get a little, twig in your heart, but I'm a fighter.
Everyone's different, aren't they?
I'm a fighter. That's what I've been. My dad was a fighter. My grandpa, my brother, my older brother. So
it's in your blood, Michael, isn't it? It's in your blood.
It's really a lifestyle. So it's not nothing that I don't really have to get motivated to go to the gym. I just go to the gym because that's who I am.
So it's more discipline than motivation. You're just staying disciplined.
Yeah. It's more of a discipline that's been, I think I would call it a lifestyle because even discipline, you have to, you can, have to do it at some time when you don't want to. I just do it, I live like that. I eat like that. This is who I am. I go
maintaining that consistency, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
So getting on to the fight, because I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. You've been great. So thanks for your time. Getting on to the card, I'm sure you're intrigued to tune in tomorrow, as we all are. Before we get on to Usyk Dubois, we got another big Lawrence Okoli, Kevin Lerena. I think it's a really fascinating fight. How do you set me? Okoli's very awkward. Lorena's quite obviously smaller, heavyweight, but explosive. How do you see it playing out?
I think that's a very interesting one. It's very hard to say because, like you said, it's going to be a lot of awkward stuff going on in there. But if the big guy, I swear he got taller the last time I seen him.
260s.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I mean, I almost kind of think, look, it's not for him. I wouldn't say it to his face. I almost kind of feel maybe he's coming in too big. Right. But what do I know? But he's a big dude. Apparently, he was eating 1 meal to make cruiserweight a day.
Wow, that makes sense. And I seen him. He was doing a lot of weightlifting, and that tends to come on a little later. So he's getting a little older. But I think that he should do well. I think he's going to have some adversities, but he'll get over them. But I think for some reason, I think it's going to be some controversial something going on.
Yeah.
See, just because of how awkward they are. Something about it.
Something about that fight. I've actually put my neck on the line, which you've got to do in this business. Look, again, Okoli's a home fighter for us. I kind of fancy Lorena to get on the inside and bob and weave and almost to kind of Mike Tyson peekaboo style, maybe Lancer. That's what I'm thinking might happen, but I might embarrass myself. But that's what I'm going.
I can see that might not even. Something funny might happen on that one. Just.
Some moody stoppage or something.
Something funny. That's what I'm betting on.
Right. So getting on to the main one as we kind of close it up. Obviously, it's massive in this country. We've all heard the narrative. For us as Brits over here, Dubois will be the first undisputed since the big man Lennox Lewis. Most people are only giving him a puncher's chart. Usyk seems to do everything better, other than power, which is obviously what Dubois. How do you see that one going?
Hey, a puncher's chance is a puncher's chance. And if you got the right game plan, you can make that puncher's chance margin a lot bigger, you know. And I think that he has a great opportunity right now because he's out here in his hometown. He's not. Hopefully, he's fixed the judges. I thought the judges were very unfair with him in the first fight.
So is a low blow?
I thought that was fair for one. But also, not only that, Usyk was able to call his own low blows. He was able to look at the ref, and the ref
clever, isn't he?
That was a low blow. Clever. And it is a very clever. It's part of the game. But if I was on
Chris calls him a crybaby, but I think he's a genius.
I mean,
what you can to advantage, right?
Absolutely. No. Hey, I agree. He's a crybaby genius.
Well, there we go. He's both. You heard it. He's both.
I totally agree. I seen the move when he did it. I said, man, he used what he did, and that's what he's supposed to do. So, but I don't think he's going to have that this time. I think that Daniel should go to the body early. If they call it a low blow, who cares? Go to the body. He's going to have
backyard.
Yes, he's going to have that energy for him that he didn't have, and you don't understand how big of that is for the third man in the ring to constantly verbally jab you, to push back, and hey, you can't do this. Yeah. That's very stressful on the fight when there's a part of the control is going the other way. He had basically the Michael Jordan effect. When he said it was a foul, then it was a foul. So.
Yeah. It's really interesting what you said there because Tony Bellew was saying this when he was in there with him. And he said, you're so busy looking at his foot feints, looking at him feint and he's moving, he's hitting you from different... He just absolutely tires you. And you know because you've been in there with him. So you can vouch for it. How tired it must make you.
And like you said, a lot of the things that he does is outside of the ring. Like, they make sure that they got the right ref. When I did it, they constantly were... complaining about something, you know what I'm saying? They were constantly, hey, he does this, he does that, make sure the ref does this. And because he was on the A side and he had the advantage, they play out like that. So
it's a great insight. That's why I wanted to chat to you a bit about this because we don't always get this information. So disclosing this is it gives some insight. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I'll give you another one that Daniel should definitely go to the body with the front hand. He should finish with the front hand. A lot of people, Usyk, we all know Usyk doesn't go to take a good body shot, but that's because he's a southpaw. He stands in southpaw stance, where originally you're taught to stand in an orthodox, that traditional. Everybody's taught this way because of the organs. You're putting the organs behind you.
Yep.
So you're protecting yourself.
Yep.
In the southpaw stance, it's
more exposed.
Yeah, it's more exposed. So most of the time, southpaws tend to not take good body shots. But that's the reason why.
Another great bit of insight. Yeah, I think that second and third phase for Daniel is so important. If he can get him there, and this is something George Foxton, Charles' son, alluded to, that if he can kind of get him there, he's try and keep him there. But that's bloody easier said than done, isn't it?
I think he should bum rush him. I think almost like a Chisora thing. It shouldn't give him any, they shouldn't even try to get a rhythm because that's what Usyk's better at than Daniel.
Just like a linebacker or someone, or just fucking
bum rush him. Hit him on his shoulders. Don't worry about get very physical and make the ref do his job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then slow it down. You know what?
Don't let him circle out.
Yeah.
Hit him again. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he has to. Then they didn't start he didn't start his rhythm. He didn't even start boxing until you let him start.
Yeah.
And that could be 2 or 3 rounds later. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. You heard it from Michael. How to beat Usyk. Just give us a prediction before we let you go. If you were held at gunpoint, which obviously will never happen, but if you were, and you had to give, don't have to give me a round, but who
I
wins?
would have to say Usyk just on a split decision. I think it's going to go to split decision because I think, see what tends to happen for me, I think when you have home court advantage, but you also have another advantage in a sense when like Floyd Mayweather, anytime that you have these wins constantly, and if you get a little close, it gets fishy, you get the nod. Canelo's had it. Andre Ward is able to have it.
Chris always mentions that
yes,
one.
Exactly. but it's because he was able to win so consistently for so long that you kind of get one. And I think that Usyk is going to have that nod. It's going to be very close, and he's going to have the home court advantage, but he's just going to get the slight edge. And I think it's going to go down like that.
So it's going to be a tight decision for Usyk, 12 rounds. There you go. You heard it. Listen, Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure.